Hi, everyone. During chapter 5 of our story, we read about Todd. Todd is a student that would just kind of sit quietly while the other students talked, and as soon as he would talk, he would get in trouble by Mrs. Jewls. She would write his name on the blackboard if he was talking, and then if he got caught talking again, she'd put a check mark by it. And then if he got talking again, she would circle it, and that would mean he would need to go home on the kindergarten bus early. And that happened every day. And so he was really hopeful that today was the day he wasn't going to go home early. And in a strange turn of events, some robbers came up to the 30th story, to Mrs. Jewls' class, demanding money. And they didn't have any money because it wasn't a bank. And Todd was quick thinking and said, well, the most valuable thing that we have here is knowledge. And so he gave the robbers one of his classmate, Joy, her workbook. And they ended up liking the idea and saying, maybe we'll stop robbing people and become a scientist. And they left. And Todd had to go home early, but his classmates were cheering him on because he saved the day. So today we're going to be reading about another student named Bebe. So let's learn about her. Bebe was a girl with short brown hair, a little Bebe nose, totally tiny toes, and big brown eyes. Her full name was Bebe Gun. She was the fastest draw in Mrs. Jewls' class. She could draw a cat in less than 45 seconds, a dog in less than 30, and a flower in less than 8 seconds. But of course, Bebe never drew just one dog, or one cat, or one flower. Art was from 12:30 to 1:30. Why, in that time, she could draw 50 cats, 100 flowers, 20 dogs, and several eggs or watermelons. It took her the same amount of time to draw a watermelon as an egg. Kelvin sat next to Bebe. He didn't think he was very good at art. Why, it took him the whole period just to draw one airplane. So instead, he just helped Bebe. He was Bebe's assistant. As soon as Bebe would finish one masterpiece, Kelvin would take it from her and set down a clean sheet of paper. Whenever her crayon ran low, Kelvin was ready with a new crayon. That way, Bebe didn't have to waste any time. And in return, Bebe would draw 5 or 6 airplanes for Kelvin. It was 12:30. Time for art. Bebe was ready. On her desk was a sheet of yellow construction paper. In her hand was a green crayon. Kelvin was ready. He held a stack of paper and a box of crayons. Ready, Bebe? Said Kelvin. Ready, Kelvin, said Bebe. Okay, said Mrs. Jewls. Time for art. She had hardly finished her sentence when Bebe had already drawn a picture of a leaf. Kelvin took it from her and put another piece of paper down. Red, called Bebe. Kelvin handed Bebe a red crayon. Blue, called Bebe. He gave her a blue crayon. They were quite a pair. Their teamwork was remarkable. Bebe drew pictures as fast as Kelvin could pick up the old paper and set down the new. A fish, an apple, 3 cherries, bing, bing, bing. At 1:30, Mrs. Jewls announced, Okay, class, art is over. Bebe dropped her crayon and fell over on her desk. Kelvin sighed and leaned back in his chair. He could hardly move. They had broken their old record. Bebe had drawn 378 pictures. They lay in a pile on Kelvin's desk. Mrs. Jewls walked by. Kelvin, did you draw all these pictures? Kelvin laughed. No, I can't draw. Bebe drew them all. Well, then what did you draw? Asked Mrs. Jewls. I didn't draw anything, said Kelvin. Why not? Don't you like art? Asked Mrs. Jewls. I love art, said Kelvin. That's why I didn't draw anything. Mrs. Jewls did not understand. It would have taken me the whole period just to draw one picture, said Kelvin, and Bebe would only have been able to draw 100 pictures. But with the two of us working together, she was able to draw 378 pictures. That's a lot more art. Bebe and Kelvin shook hands. No, said Mrs. Jewls, that isn't how you measure art. It isn't how many pictures you have, but how good the pictures are. Why, a person could spend his whole life just drawing one picture of a cat. In that time, I'm sure Bebe could draw 1,000,000 cats. 2,000,000, said Bebe. Mrs. Jewls continued, but if that one picture is better than each of Bebe's 2,000,000, then that person has produced more art than Bebe. Bebe looked as if she was going to cry. She picked up all the pictures from Kelvin's desk and threw them in the garbage. Then she ran from the room. I thought her pictures were good, said Kelvin. He reached into the garbage pail and took out a crumpled up picture of an airplane. Bebe walked outside into the playground. Louis, the yard teacher, spotted her. Where are you going? He asked. I'm going home to draw a picture of a cat, said Bebe. Will you bring it to school and show it to me tomorrow? Louis asked. Tomorrow? Laughed Bebe. By tomorrow, I doubt if I'll even be finished with one whisker. And that is all we are going to be reading about Bebe today. In our next chapter, we get to hear about the one who was helping her with the art pictures, Kelvin. So we'll see you next time.